Alright, hello everybody, welcome back to Future Fiber. This is your host Jenny, and this is a channel where I talk about all the crafty things that I do. It's mostly knitting. I've been teasing this video for I think a couple weeks now. Time is fast approaching. The end of the year is nigh. The holidays are almost in brackets upon us. As a member of society, I also participate in gift giving customs. And so today's topic is my Christmas / holidays gift giving plans of 2023. This is not really going to be a generalized list that is going to be applicable for a lot of people. And for that, I think I need to, well, I don't need to, but I would like to talk a little bit about my gift giving philosophy. That sounds really pretentious, but it's just like how I approach gift giving, I guess. I generally bucket gifts into two categories. Let me start with the first category, which is a little bit more general. It's basically, I don't know the person very well, but due to circumstance or societal norms, I need to give a gift to that person. I want to say need, because you don't need to be giving gifts to anybody, right? It's just more like I feel like I need to or I want to, but I don't know that person very well. Typically in this category, I don't make something for them because I feel like whatever I'm making or knitting up, it's a little bit more involved. I need to know more about that person for me to make something that I know that they will really like. That category I tend to not really knit for unless it's like a baby or I don't know, just something more general like a hat. Now, the people that usually get my handmade gifts, they're getting my handmade gifts, hand knitted things, because I know them very well or pretty well, and I've kind of kept this like mental list of what they've mentioned over the year or couple of years duration of our knowing each other relationship. I kind of try and keep tabs on what they've said that they liked. For example, we might be shopping together with friends. I think in group chats you tend to send each other a lot of like screen caps of clothing or items or whatever they saw on Instagram, and from there you can kind of like infer what kind of style they like or what kind of items they typically wear. Generally, if you're going to make something for them, you'd like to see them wear it and make use of it. I mean, if not everybody that you knit for have to be necessarily knit worthy, but I think my preference is that whoever receives my handmade item gift wear it, and then kind of I see them throughout the days making use of what I gave them. So the likelihood of them wearing or making use of what I give them is higher, obviously, if I know that they've mentioned directly that they wanted this in the past. And I think this could be applied to, not even handmade items, but just like general, gift giving, right? Like you don't want to give a KitchenAid mixer to somebody who doesn't bake. So it's the same idea. So these gifts are kind of a culmination of the people, the recipients basically saying that they wanted this at some point in our relationship. So I think that tends to make it a little bit easier for me to gift if I have that, list going down in my head. This also means that I need to know them pretty well. Maybe this is like very cynical sounding, but it's not like I can keep tabs on everybody. I barely remember people's birthdays, which is another reason why I typically knit gifts for Christmas and not necessarily birthdays, because I'm really bad with dates and numbers. And unless that person is specifically holding a birthday party or something, like chances are I'm not going to remember, which is terrible. But I also try and make use of calendars and things. So I give them something smaller on their birthdays, and then like at the end of the year, they usually get something that's a little bit more handcrafted or whatever. So that's just generally how I've been giving gifts. That was a long preamble. I'm excited. I'm curious to hear how you guys approach gift giving, because I know some people get just enjoyment simply from the act of giving the gift, not necessarily seeing the recipient wear it, make use of it. But for my 2023 holiday season gift giving knit ideas, there's 4 gift knits that I will be attempting to do, and possibly more, but they will be a little bit less specific to the person, and we'll see how it goes because all of these are pretty big projects. I guess I'll start with what I am planning to knit for my boyfriend because he lives here with me. This is already not a secret because he helped pick out the yarn. It's kind of a nice thing to also have the person involved somehow. If the other person is okay with it and they're not like a big surprise loving person. So he helped pick out the yarn and the pattern as well. So I'm going to be knitting him a Ingrid Sweater man. Where did it go? The label. Oh, here we go. The yarn that I picked out for this Ingrid Sweater is Feisty Fibres Pure Canadian Expanse, and it's 100% Canadian wool worsted weight. This yarn is kind of a souvenir as well. We picked out this yarn when we went to Montreal. Yeah, so there's an additional layer of like the memory of us picking up the yarn together or whatever, and the trip as well. So I think it's a nice sentimental gift and hopefully something practical because the inspiration for knitting the Ingrid Sweater is, well, I knit an Ingrid Sweater for myself and then my boyfriend saw it and then he said he likes the fit of it. It's very oversized on me and he thinks the texture is cool. That's how he says he likes things. He's like, oh, that's cool. Yeah, I made him try on the Ingrid Sweater that I made, and I knew that I had to knit like a different size for him and all that stuff because for the sweater that I made, the sleeves are too short on him, so I also have that frame of reference as well. I also knit him a sweater last year for Christmas, and I think he's going to get more wear out of this one compared to the last one that I made because this one I'm going to make it a little bit more oversized, a little bit more hard wearing because this is 100% wool and I think the color is darker and all of that together. I just think it's going to be a better gift for him. So that's why I chose this. Let's talk about the yarn a little bit. I think I made in this video, I guess because we're sitting in the sun a little bit, you can see that it's navy and you can see the stitches, but in low light this basically looks like black. It is navy, but it's very dark navy, so in like the nighttime low lighting settings is going to look black, so it's going to be a miserable time knitting this up with all the patterns and stuff. And I kind of, after I swatched it, I was like, okay, well, is this a waste of effort that I am knitting this whole sweater that has all over stitch pattern on it with this dark colored yarn? But I think especially like if you wear it out in the sun and stuff, you're still going to be seeing all the stitches, so I don't think it's going to be a total loss. And also, even in the low light setting, you can still see that the sweater overall has some texture on it. So I think it's going to be interesting nonetheless. And even if, I don't know, the sweater gets something on it, it'll be much easier to hide it with this dark color. So yeah, I'm excited. This is also going to be off gauge. When will I knit a Petiteknit pattern on gauge? Probably never. My boyfriend's measurements, he should be wearing a size medium, but I am knitting an extra small because the gauge is off quite a bit, and we'll see how it turns out. I'm really excited to knit the whole thing up with this yarn though, because this yarn washes up really nicely. I don't have the swatch with me right now, so I can't show you, but this, when you're first knitting it, it kind of looks It feels kind of hard wearing. It's not, I don't find this scratchy, but then it's not super soft. But then when you wash it and all the different stitches kind of meld, like they kind of stick to each other and then smooth, like even out and stuff. It looks really good. And it has a lot more drape to it, which is very exciting. So it's not going to feel like you're wearing armor or anything, but it'll still be more hard wearing than the original Ingrid Sweater's recommended yarn, which is I think fingering weight and mohair. So I think this will be good and feel a little bit more structured, maybe a little masculine, whatever that word means nowadays. So that's the first gift idea. Ingrid Sweater Man using Feisty Fibres, pure Canadian Expanse. The second gift that I'm planning to knit this year is a pair of fingerless gloves. This is also something that my friend said she explicitly wanted. So hopefully she gets a lot of wear out of it. And I know for a fact that this is something that they wanted and probably has some utility. So that's going to be good. I didn't start, but I have picked out the yarn. This is also a yarn that we picked out together because we went on a trip to New Orleans and we visited a yarn store there in the old New Orleans area. I think the yarn shop was called Quarter Stitch. It was really nice in there and we spent a lot of time picking out and touching different yarns and it was fun. And she doesn't knit at all, so it was interesting and fun to kind of like share my hobby with a friend who doesn't really, you know, dabble in it. Anyways, so we picked up this yarn together. She liked the color and everything. So the yarn that we chose is from the brand called LGF Suris. I've never heard of this brand before, nor have I used their yarn, so I'm actually pretty excited to try this. And the yarn is Suri sock, fingering weight 3-ply. And the contents are 55% Suri alpaca, 30% wool, 15% nylon, and it's in the colorway black opal, and this is 400 yards. So a lot of yardage for this little skein, and I paid $36 apparently, according to this little tag here. Fingerless gloves. Obviously there's the pattern that everybody knits, the Petiteknit penny gloves. I don't own that pattern, but I have made fingerless gloves in the past using a free pattern that I found on Ravelry. I'll insert here. And I like that pattern decently enough, so I think I might be using that again. I will shop around a little bit more to see if there are other ones that have interesting patterns. I've also knit a pair of ribbed fingerless gloves before from the designer Polistrict. I don't remember the name of the gloves, but I'll also insert here. So I guess I'm between those two patterns, but either way I think it'll turn out well. So this, I might hold this yarn double because it is fingering weight. I'll have to make a swatch and see how it turns out, but I think the color will look really good with my friend's wardrobe, and yeah, I just think it's really soft too. I don't know how to describe it. Like, it feels very... I need to stop describing yarns as moisturized, but it kind of feels like that. A little bit like lanolin-y, which is kind of interesting because it doesn't have a huge wool content. Like, I don't know if that's what Suris are supposed to feel like, but yeah, it doesn't feel very dry. Like, it's very nice. I think this is also machine washable because it has nylon content in it, so yeah, it should be pretty good and hopefully hard wearing for something that you wear on your hands. So that'll be very exciting. So another yarn souvenir to gift in action. And that's kind of how I've been getting around some of the yarn band stuff. This is putting myself on blast. I am, you know, on a low buy, no buy kind of thing, but then I kind of made concessions for gift giving, and then that's kind of one of the other ways that I've managed to buy yarn when I'm on vacation. When I was in Montreal, I bought yarn for my boyfriend, and then when I was in New Orleans, I bought yarn for my friend. And yeah, that's another way that I've been kind of not completely not buying yarn. I also had to like do a bit of introspection to be like, am I trying to just knit stuff for people because I want to buy yarn at these stores? I don't know. We can't think too deeply about it. Otherwise, we're going to be in a downward spiral. So these next two are going to be kind of larger projects. I think I might have overcommitted a little bit because these next two projects are also going to be pretty big. So the first thing I'll talk about is this. You might be like, what is that? This is, I'm knitting up the Aura top. It's a pattern by Rose Knitwear, and it's a top that is very see-through, 100% lace weight mohair all through the top. And it's very fashion, it's very chic. And this is not something that I would necessarily knit for myself, but my friend is a much more adventurous fashion person than I am. So I'm having a fun time knitting this up for her. This colorway is directly inspired by a sweater that she has shared in the group chat in the past. It's from the brand Acne, and it's basically, it looks pretty much similar to the Rose Knitwear Aura top, which is why I chose the pattern. I just selected a couple that I thought would go nicely together, loosely inspired by the colorways on the Acne inspiration top. And I chose these 4 mohair balls, plus some other like loose mohairs that I had already at home. So this is all Drops Kid Silk mohair. You only need like 3 balls to make a size small of the Aura top, I believe. So, and I'm knitting the smallest size for her. She's a very small, petite person. So this is going by pretty fast. And then it's fun to change up the colors and stuff. And it's turning out very colorful and very, I don't know, very joyful, you know? It's very nice. And it's nice knitting like something like this because this isn't, as I said, this is definitely not something that I would knit for myself, but this gives me a chance to knit something that's very out of my comfort zone for a friend, and I know that it's gonna get wear because she was contemplating buying that top and she did not because it was brand money, and this is not brand money. So hopefully she likes it. I think she will because she's been talking about getting like a mohair kind of top for a very long time. And I also taught her how to knit a little bit. So she was also asking me like, oh, is it going to be hard for me to knit this one thing? And then she'll send me pictures and then I'll advise her. So she has not attempted this yet. So yeah, not much to say. I'm doing the body right now, and I think I'm almost to the point where I have to split for the front and the back of the sweater, which would be pretty sick because it's very, I didn't spend that long on this. The color changing part of it, I wasn't really putting a ton of brain power into it, so I'm going to knit the blue section pretty tall because it would be around, you know, the chest area. And you definitely need to wear something underneath this. You can't just go like commando underneath this top. Unless you're very brave, then, you know, you do you. But the blue, darker blue of the mohair should help give it a little bit more coverage as opposed to like these lighter colors down here, like the blue or the yellows. So yeah, I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to split front and back, and then the sleeves, I believe you also knit separately as 2 different panels. because this is a set and sleeve pattern, and then you're supposed to seam up the different sides. I guess that also helps with like structural integrity of like the shoulder seam, so it doesn't, oh my god. I guess the seaming kind of helps with like the structural integrity of the shoulders and the sleeves, so that it doesn't, you know, stretch out a lot. Neckline is a little bit boat neck, as opposed to in the original inspiration product, it's that one is a little bit more crew neck-y, but the boat neck, I guess, on this is kind of mandatory because you need some room. The mohair will stretch, but you know, like, I think it creates a more trendy silhouette as well. So excited to finish this guy up. I don't think it's going to take very long at all. This took very not long. So yeah, I think I'll be able to make the deadline for sure. The last project that I have in mind for Christmas this year, I've made a lot of progress on this one actually, and I've had to keep it a surprise this entire time, so that was kind of tough. But look at this.
Look at this.
Oh my god, this is, I love this one. Like, my friend might not get this because I love it, and I might keep it for myself. I'm just kidding. I'm going to give it to her, but you know, I kind of want one of my own. This is such a good idea. Okay, so this is, I don't know if you can tell, this is a zipper sweater by Petiteknit, but I knit this up using Boucle yarn, and this is Drops Alpaca Boucle in the, it doesn't say the color on it, color 100, which I believe is the ivory, or off-white. It's very like cream colored, very light, very beautiful. It looks like whipped cream, the whole thing. Oh my god, it's like knitting a cloud. And because the collar is double folded, oh my god, it's so nice. Yeah, I don't know, I really want one for myself now. I already made a zipper sweater before, so I didn't purchase the pattern separately for this project, and I kind of knew what to expect from the construction and stuff and how long it will take me, so I decided to move forward with this project. But basically this one also had its idea conception from a group chat where she had taken a screenshot of a sweater. I think it was from Dior men's collection like last year, but what I noticed about that was that it's not exactly like this. So this is very inspired as opposed to exactly like that sweater. But I think the main thing that I noticed about that particular sweater is that it had these like contrast hot pink zippers in addition to the off-white kind of cream muted boucle-ish looking fabric. Now that one I believe is not knitted. I think it's actually just like knitted fabric that they sewed together, kind of like how you would cut out like woven fabric. I don't know, don't hold me to it. I don't actually know, but I thought it would be nice to kind of replicate the essence of that sweater by using a boucle yarn and knitting up the zipper sweater and then adding the hot pink zip. And I think I might also put in the zips on the sleeves as well. I have to kind of think about how I'm going to do that a little bit, but I think it'll work. I think it's just I'll have to decide how long I want the zip to be, and then from there I'll knit the sleeve flat back and forth, and I'll knit like skinny facings for the zipper on the sleeve, inside of the sleeve, and then I'll use that to kind of sew in the zipper on the sleeves. I don't know, this is just in theory, so I'm not exactly sure how it's going to work, but I don't know. I've made this work in the past, so I'm sure I could do it again. Yeah. So this has gone by like not, this is pretty, I'm almost to the point where I am separating the sleeve from the body. I think I have about 2 more rows to go for that. And then from there, it'll just be stockinette in the body and in the sleeves. And she's a little bit shorter than I am. Not a little, like a lot bit, I guess. I don't know, like a couple inches. So yeah, I think I can make it a little bit shorter as well. But it'll be pretty oversized on her, I believe, because she's also more petite than I am. Yeah, very nice, very nice. I think this is going to turn out really well. I just need to go find the hot pink zip, but that's an excuse for me to go into the fabric district in Manhattan and look for those notions. And yeah, I'm excited to be done with this. I say as I haven't done the sleeve separation yet, but it'll get there pretty soon. And it's been pretty enjoyable knitting on this, and this is knit up in oh, the number's rubbed off. This is 5mm needle, so it's going by pretty fast. I would say working with Boucle though, like, you can't see anything. I think, like, definitely other people have said this in the past. Like, anytime anybody works with Boucle, they always mention how they can't see anything in the stitches. And I don't know, you just don't realize how true it is until you experience it in the flesh. But you really can't see the stitches. Like, I think I missed a couple increases on the raglan because I couldn't see where I was supposed to increase. But on the other hand, that means nobody else is going to be able to tell. So yeah, that's that. But I'm almost there, and I think it looks really good. And I am excited to see how this turns out. I will probably block this before I put the zip in, and maybe I'll wash the zip separately as well to see if the zipper will bleed, because I don't want this to turn pink, right? So I will try and pre-treat everything that goes into the sweater so that my friend doesn't accidentally ruin it when she's hand washing it or whatever. But I'll probably just tell her to dry clean, because yeah, I don't want to be responsible for that. So that's the last Christmas gift that I have planned for this year. I am overall a pretty selfish knitter. I don't knit a ton of gifts for people. It's just that this year, I just felt like, in the spirit of buying, I don't know, less, I thought maybe I could make things for people. Although in the process of it, I ended up buying yarn. But I don't know. It feels a little bit more personalized, a little bit more thoughtful, definitely more intentional, because I'm putting all these hours into it. And I don't know. I hope they recognize what they've said in the past that they've wanted and find joy in it. I'm pretty excited to see people's reactions once I finish everything and give it to them. I'm pretty confident about the gifts that I'm giving to my friends. I started on the Ingrid Sweater for my boyfriend. I don't know how long that's gonna take, because I remember my Ingrid Sweater taking a little bit of time, but maybe because it's the second time around, it'll go much faster. And I think I have enough yarn for it as well, so I won't have to, undo all the seams and stuff a bunch of times to play yarn chicken. That's my Christmas gift ideas for this year. Let me know what you're planning to knit this year, if at all. This probably wasn't that helpful for if you were looking for Christmas gift ideas, but hopefully you can apply some of how I approach gift giving in your brainstorming. Thanks for watching. Subscribe if you want to find out if I actually make the deadlines for these gifts. And I will see you guys in the next episode. Goodbye!